Welcome back. If you just joined us, our guest has been the first son of the presumed winner of the 1993 elections, Mr. Kola Abiola. Join us again. Let's look at the sincerity of the federal government now. Yes. Considering that just this May 29, some days, few days ago, that the federal government went ahead to declare a public holiday on May 29, 2018. And people are asking, how sincere is the federal government?
Yeah, because you don't look. I want to believe if they involved everyone, the federal house, everybody involved, we won't get this day today. It was purely the executive arm that sat down and figured, look, we're going to do this thing. And that is why we are where we are today. To let the cat out of the bag much earlier, right? The whole thing would have been aborted by now.
Why do you think so?
Because I've been through this for the past how many years, and I've seen the role different people play in this very issue as at when it's about to be done. They come up with reasons, oh, it's posthumous, it can't be given to a late person, it can't be done this, it can't be done that. They come up with all these reasons. So if you don't have if you're not bold enough and the courage, you will never get it done. You have to be determined that this is the right thing and it's the right. My father would say, look, you have to be objective, even at your own expense. So for him to have taken this up, and not just taken it up, he's given us the GCFR, he's given us the national holiday, rightfully so. He's also publicly apologized to the family and to my father and to everybody who lost their life at that point in time. I think it's a very humbling thing from the most powerful person in this country.
Some would argue that conferring the highest honor to MK Abiola is good, but the biggest honor that could be given to late MKO is to alleviate the suffering of the masses, which was a cardinal point that late MK Abiola stood for.
I agree with you totally with that, and that's the government policy. We're comparing apples to oranges here. That's the government of the day who has to come up with his own programs to do what is right by the people, to do what is in the interest of the people, to value add in the lives of the people. That's purely their own government and economic policy. It has nothing to do with this. If they achieve that, in light of what he is, my MKO's vision for this country, fantastic. But MK is not going to do that in their absence. They can't, like he says, what Mr. President has done for me, my father would say that you can't shave a man's head in his absence. What he has done today is has shaved his head in his absence. That's what he has done.
But when you look at the current state of the economy, do you think that reflects? Do you think this award is in sync to the current state of the economy?
I think so. I think, and I'll use my.
Do you think the federal government is doing enough
to
justify that someone laid his life for us to have good governance in the country?
A country that has a psychological burden of having to come to terms with its past, right? For as long as that burden is not lifted, no matter how good your policies are, there's going to be a deficit. What President Buhari has done is the beginning of the truth and reconciliation in this country, not what was done in the past. This is the beginning of the true process of truth and reconciliation in this country. Now, once that burden is different, things psychologically change. Politics is 50% psychology. The day my father won his election, prices were dropping across the board in the market. Why? Because they actually went out and voted for somebody and they believed that person will make a difference in their lives. So psychologically, prices were going down. Exchange rates was getting firmer. Oh, he's importing rice. He's doing that. All that psychologically moved the economy immediately. The minute it was annulled, everything went negative. The same thing, that's the same point in which we are right now. with this burden lifted, and everybody felt that yes, respite has come, all those votes have been recognized for what they are. I think psychologically as a people, it would lift us up going forward.
People believe that without trying to touch a raw nerve now,
Right.
People believe that late MKO died under mysterious circumstances. And would you want to press for further investigation?
Yeah, we will get there. We will get there because we have a documentary coming, Hope Derailed, that is addressing that. We have interviewed 85 odd people in and out of this country, including Susan Rice, Thomas Pickering, the FBI person, the CIA person here, the European Union, everybody we have interviewed. And you will make your own conclusions from the documentary when it's aired. But more importantly, you don't have to put a gun to a person to kill him. If you are down with malaria for 2 weeks and you don't get treatment, you're going to die. So you don't have to necessarily put a gun to his head. My father was a person that walked around with a first aid kit. Anything, he knew what to do. Any small thing is on the plane for a checkup. And you incarcerate such a person for 4 years without treatment. You don't have to put a gun to his head to kill him. As far as I'm concerned, he was killed. Now, he has a blood pressure problem ordinarily if he doesn't get a regular treatment. But of course, you don't. Like I said, if you have malaria and you're not treated, you're going to die. That's very simple. So for me, passive, directly, is one and the same in this situation.
Now, 2019 elections
Right.
is around the corner.
Right.
And from the benefit of hindsight now, people saw late MK Abiola as a beacon of light, especially in the Southwest, without necessarily regionalizing him. Now, with this due recognition given to late MK Abiola, people feel that you might be inevitably stepping into his role.
I've always been in his role. I've always stepped in there.
Yeah.
I've always been in that role.
What would be your advice? Would you advise the region to throw in their weight behind this government in power, behind the government administration of President Buhari seeking second term in office?
I think it's a matter of what is available to vote for. What do we have to choose from? Our PPCs are very, very, very important here. Now, the race is between who out there? We need to sit down and, based on the quality of the individuals that should turn up for election, their credibility, their perception of being credible, because that's equally important, and the quality of the individuals that come up, we have to use that as a basis of deciding who we vote for. It's really that simple. For me, if the best person qualified in that race that meets those standards, the credibility, the perception of being credible and sincere, is Mr. President, so be it. But once we will know in another few months who the candidates are, we will have a choice on what to pick from. And that decides where we go next.
Now, with June 12 being put in its proper place in Nigeria's history, would you be encouraged to run for office in the nearest future?
Well, what I've done is I've come out of retirement for sure, because what I've been waiting for was to see an end to this. As to which step and which direction I go to, I haven't decided yet, but I'm studying it. I've never stopped studying it. Once you get involved, you're always involved. The beauty is that I can always look at this objectively. I'm not a career politician, so I can look at it from the outside and I can see it a lot differently. And that's how I was able to win the election, because I can look at things objectively and not as a politician. I'm a realist, and I tend to go by that. So once I look at things and I see what the options are, you will know for sure.
Before we wind down this conversation, people believe that when MKO was alive, that it was unarguably perhaps or about the richest African. And now there are speculations about his wealth, that perhaps the previous government tried to frustrate his business. But you played a central role running his business. So I can ask you, what has happened to late MK Abiola's wealth?
Very good point. Like they say, Rome was not built in a day. It started with ITT, LCN, then came Concord, then came this, then came that, then came that, then came that. They all did start in one day. So as time went and things got better, he added another venture, another venture, another venture, to the point that he was the largest private sector employer in Nigeria at that point in time. Myself, my two brothers basically made a lot of that happen, and we ran a lot of those businesses. Now, it takes one drop to smash a plate. Once it drops, picking the pieces together takes a while. And there's some fragments that will never be able to be replaced on that plate. That's exactly the situation. They shut down everything. They figured, look, if you don't have the means, you can't fight us. So they shut down everything, and I mean everything. And rebuilding everything overnight certainly will not happen. To bring everything back, some will never come back. But what I have done, or what we have done, is to focus on where we think the growth is, and where we think the support, what can build the support for the family going forward, and that's what we've concentrated on.
Mr. Kola Abiola, thank you so much for making our time to be part of this episode of Question Time. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
And that's it on this episode of Question Time from Channels Television. What's your take on the recognition of June 12 as Nigeria's Democracy Day? Send us a comment on our social media platforms showing on your screen. You can also join us next week for a fresh episode of the show. Many thanks for watching. I'm Benga Ashuru. Bye for now.